Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're going to completely shift your understanding of Fiverr and Upwork. If you've always kind of thought of them as just, two websites with slightly different features or pricing models, you are absolutely in for a treat. Today, we're taking that simple features list and turning it into a fast-paced, 7-minute masterclass on behavioral economics and marketplace design. We're drawing directly from the really brilliant framework laid out in the Yarra crash course. We're going to look way past the surface to see what actually drives these freelance giants. And the insights here are profound, honestly, because they force us to stop looking at the buttons on the screen and start looking at the psychology of the transaction itself.
Okay, so let's dive into the core mystery here. Both of these platforms connect clients with remote freelancers. Both involve exchanging money for services, right? And both heavily rely on reviews and star ratings. So, why is it that when you log into them, they literally feel like entirely different universes? Why does one feel incredibly easy for certain tasks, but incredibly frustrating for others? Well, we're going to untangle this confusion systematically today. Here's our roadmap. We'll look at why they feel different, contrast productized offers against hiring problems, examine standardization versus flexibility, compare them practically, and finally give you the ultimate filter for choosing the right platform. Section 1. Why they feel different, the anchor concept. Before we even begin to look at pricing structures or freelancer profiles, we have to establish the foundational rule of marketplace economics. And it's this: platform design creates user behavior. The crucial point here is that rules, search flows, and structures aren't just arbitrary features built by developers. They actually shape the kind of work that gets bought and sold. The design literally dictates what we pay attention to. So keep this anchor in your mind throughout our entire explainer. Platform design creates user behavior. Moving on to Section 2, productized offers versus hiring problems. Let's see how that anchor concept builds into two fundamentally opposed ways of organizing trust. It's fascinating. Fiverr organizes work as a predefined menu-like offer. The freelancer tells you exactly what they do, like, I will record a 30-second dramatic voiceover as a wizard, and what it costs. Boom, done. Upwork, on the other hand, works more like a traditional labor market. You aren't starting with a wizard menu, you're starting with a problem you need solved. Just look at how the logic flows here on this table. On Fiverr, the service package comes first. You select an offer, you have way less conversation, and clarity is absolute king. But on Upwork, your hiring need comes first. You are selecting a person. You're going to have much more conversation, and what matters most is the freelancer's fit and adaptability. It's an entirely different transaction shape, not just a pricing difference. Which brings us to Section 3, standardization versus flexibility. You see, every marketplace has to balance making things easy to buy against making things adaptable to unusual needs. You generally can't maximize both at the exact same time. Think of Fiverr's standardization exactly like a vending machine. When you walk up to a vending machine, you don't negotiate with it, right? You don't ask it to invent a bespoke artisanal potato chip for you. No, you just quickly look at the options, pick the packaged snack that solves your immediate craving, and move on. It is built to satisfy familiar needs incredibly fast. Conversely, Upwork's flexibility is like going to a tailor. You aren't buying something fully finished right off the rack. You're bringing your specific measurements, your preferences, your unique situation. You are collaborating with that tailor to shape the final solution together. Now, obviously, this requires more time and communication, but it solves a highly specific problem. So what does this actually mean for you as a user? It means on Fiverr, you just need to easily recognize the right package. You scan, you see what you need, you click buy. But on Upwork, you must use your judgment. You have to evaluate a freelancer's reasoning, their past history, and their adaptability to figure out if they can actually help you build the solution. Section 4, how they compare practically in the real world. Now that we have our lens of standardized offers versus flexible matching, how does this practically change things? Well, let's start with trust. How do you actually trust a stranger on the internet? On Fiverr, trust is heavily concentrated in the listing's clarity and its reviews. If the package is well defined, you trust the purchase. But on Upwork, trust is spread out. It's built in layers across the person's profile, their past work, and critically, how they communicate with you in their proposals and interviews. You are evaluating their mind, not just a service label. And of course, this directly impacts the money, because uncertainty is priced differently. Fiverr prices act like shelf labels for defined outcomes. You pay for the basic, the standard, or the premium package.
Upwork pricing, however, factors in a whole lot more. It has to account for diagnosis, ongoing communication, and the risk of the unknown. You aren't just paying for the output, you're paying for their expertise in shaping the scope. So, practically speaking, if your task is clearly scoped, highly repeatable, and easy to package, like a specific logo variation or a quick video edit where you already know the shape, Fiverr's productized nature is highly efficient. The structure removes the friction and just gets you to the finish line fast. But if your task is evolving, larger in scope, and heavily dependent on judgment, like long-term design support or a complex marketing strategy, Upwork's flexible environment is vastly superior. You need a collaborator who can adapt to changes, not a vending machine. Let's wrap this up with Section 5, choosing the right platform, the ultimate filter. Let's synthesize all of this so you can make the absolute right call for your business without getting lost in the weeds of hourly rates or interface tweaks. Ultimately, you are constantly trading speed and depth against each other. It's really that simple. Use Fiverr when your primary goal is to remove decision friction. You know what you want, you just want to get it done. Use Upwork when you need to remove solution friction. You have a complex problem, and you need depth and a custom fit to actually solve it. As the source material so powerfully states, you must stop comparing the platforms directly as if they do the exact same thing. Stop asking which is better and start classifying the shape of your actual work. Choose the platform that matches the shape of the problem you currently have. So I'll leave you with this final powerful thought to apply it to your very next project. Before you post a job or click buy, ask yourself, are you just selecting a known service, or do you actually need a collaborator to help solve an uncertain problem? Is this a product-shaped task or a people-shaped problem? Answer that, and the marketplace matrix is officially decoded. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.